Do you still get a lot of papers for bills or whatever in your home? Or is all that stuff online? Almost everything we can get online these days. But a lot of things still come in, I find. And every year I got to go through my file cabinet and kind of weed out the things from the previous year and reset for the new one. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Before I get started though, I wanted to mention I keep track of everything I spend. I have an Excel spreadsheet on my computer, and I just put in that anytime I spend any money on anything in whatever category. I started doing it 15 years ago, planning on doing it only for a couple of months so that I could see where things were really at while I was trying to make a new budget. And it became a habit. I'm still doing it. So that's one thing to let you know. And also, I created these little receipt logs, I call them. This one's about groceries. But again, I have different categories for everything. And it's become very handy when I'm trying to get ready to do my taxes. Because I do need to keep all the receipts and bills and things that are related to my rental property or any business type stuff. And then I also have to, as I mentioned previously, take out last year's stuff, move that to my archive files, which I also might have to clear out before I put them in there, and get ready for the new year. One other thing though, I tend to hang on to papers about different articles and things that interest me. You know, newspaper clippings or letters that people send me or printouts of how to do something, recipes, all kinds of stuff. And I finally have come to the realization that a lot of those things I don't even look at. I look at them once a year when I go through the drawer. And as I'm thinking about getting ready to move, downsizing, I'm thinking papers can be very heavy. So I really want to get rid of as many papers as possible. I don't want to have to carry boxes of papers with me that I don't even need, you know, on a daily basis. I mean, eventually I can get rid of all the ones I've been saving for taxes. I think you can get rid of them after 6 or 7 years. It depends where you live. Rules are different everywhere, right? But anyway, that's where I'm at. I better get at it. Well, it's that time of year again. It's the dreaded file purging time and getting statements ready for taxes. So all my blue folders here are financial stuff, and everything else is other stuff. Just more for information or whatever. So I'm going to start doing that. Well, I finally finished shredding everything that had any personal information on that was in my file drawer. Unfortunately, did not get it out this week in time to go with the recycling, so that'll be a couple of weeks from now before that actually goes. But yeah, another thing I can check off my to-do list to reset for the new year. Here in my guest room closet are my archive files, and I just finished going through them. I had to purge some stuff from this to make room for the files that I need to add to it, because you have to keep at least 6 to 7 years of stuff for taxes. So I've done that. Now I'll take you downstairs and show you all the extra stuff I have to shred now. So here is the nice little pile of stuff I got just for my archive piles that I can shred now. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to need them. They're either from, 2018 or older, or, just things I'm pretty sure I would never need if in case I got audited for my taxes again. So anyway, I will work at that while I am watching TV. Well, look at that. What do you think, Bisha? That one little pile of papers that I had on there ended up into this one big bag of shredded paper. So I can put that in recycling. I debated about including anything about estate planning in this video, but I think it's worth a quick mention. Every year when I'm reorganizing my file drawer, taking things out and putting them in archives, getting my tax things ready, I also have a look at my investments, and I like to have the most recent one in this drawer. Sometimes you can't get the most recent one, like the year-end statements, until like February, but when I do get it, I'll put that in there and do a quick review. Now, I am not a day trader or anything like that. Most of my RSPs and retirement funds are in mutual funds, and I have nothing to do with really deciding where anything goes. A lot of it's locked in. I don't really have a choice. And one thing is that financial advisors or anybody like that handles your stuff, they get paid very well for handling your money, and whether you do well or not, if almost everything's tied to the stock market, unfortunately. And if the stock market does great, then your portfolio looks great. But regardless, they get paid, and understandable. Nobody's going to do anything for nothing. But also in that drawer is my in case of my death folder. So I'm going to turn the camera around and just do a quick overview and show you what I have, and in part a little bit of knowledge that I've gained over the years about being an executor, or wanting to leave things not in a mess for your loved ones when you pass. Now, I have mentioned about having extra papers and things, and I think I can get rid of some of these, but I just wanted to show you some of the things I've got. A lot of these things came from funeral homes, so you can start working on your wishes for when you pass, and this will make things a lot easier for your loved ones. This sheet here has a list of documents. I just downloaded that from the internet from a place that had wills. If you don't have a will, hopefully you do if you have a family, and hopefully you have life insurance too if you have young children, or don't want to burden them with having to deal with coming up with the money to pay for your funeral or anything else after you've passed. Even had this little like I said, newspaper article that just very quickly says what an executor needs to do. And almost all funeral homes will have something similar to this. I think most of these I got from, these three I got from funeral homes. This one I think I'm going to get rid of because I was looking at it, and that's from like 25 years ago. Some of the information in that is definitely not pertinent now. But this is also a very old one, but a lot of the information has not changed over the years. So I'm sure you want to get the most up-to-date information. If you go to a funeral home near you, they probably have something similar that you can probably get for free. So that'll help you in preparing your documents and everything. Same with this. This was just, I think that was one from when my mom passed. And this is the most recent one I got because I actually bought a funeral insurance plan after my mom passed, and I was executor for her estate. Here's the thing you got to keep in mind if a family member is the executor. when you're grieving, you don't think clearly. You don't, and unless you're a lawyer or something, you don't know what you're supposed to do. So funeral homes are very helpful in that way. But it has, lots of things in there, financial stuff, insurance. Also, any ideas for, what you want your funeral to be like? What music you want, what flowers you want. Do you want a funeral? Do you want a celebration of life? I mean, here's the thing, about that type of thing. My dad, when he passed, he didn't want anything. He wanted to be cremated and nothing else. Cheap is cheap is cheap. And a lot of people are like that because it is a big business. But here's the thing. Funerals, celebrations of life are for the living. That's their opportunity in some cases to say goodbye, to process the passing, and helps with the grief. So, we ended up having a little service for my dad anyway, but we did it on very budget friendly. We invited people back to a mom's house after, and the Women's Institute made sandwiches and helped with the food stuff, and we had friends come and speak at the service, and I'm sorry, I'm getting choked up here just thinking about it. It was over 20 years ago, but I still get a little teary thinking about that. But he didn't want us wasting money, and I don't think we did waste money. So there's that little thing here. So get yourself one of these little booklets. You can even buy some nice books on Amazon for estate planning, that type of thing. But the main thing is you need to have a list somewhere of all your financial stuff that's easy for your executor to get to, and at least they're not going to be overly stressed, even more than they already are when they're dealing with that. Now, so that's that. I also wanted to show you my Fireproof safe case, which has a handle, and it's not as heavy as the big clunky box things. And I'll show you a picture of my old one. If there was a fire or anything, I would not be able to pick that old one up and drag it out with me. No, but this one I could. And I'll try not to show you anything that's too personal. I took out a lot of stuff, but look at all the nice little compartments. I could put cards in there if I wanted to. It's even got accordion files for a lot of stuff. Birth certificates and passports and all kinds of stuff like that in there. And then on the back part, also I could put more stuff in here if I needed. And then on the bottom, I've got some other important documents that I wanted to keep. So I think this is one really handy way to have like the originals of things if you want to keep them. And anyway, so that's one thing I wanted to mention about that. So here's the end result of purging my file drawer here and resetting. Got lots of extra space here, which is great. It'll probably get filled up again throughout the year. I was able to get rid of some of my extra papers and stuff. I did a quick update of my funeral plan, wishes, that type of thing there. So I think I'm ready to move on to the next thing. So if you have found this video helpful at all, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next one.